Shit, I should got more water. No, I've got enough. I got about a half a cup, so I just gotta take it easy on there. It's like I'm trying to fucking punish my fucking kidneys or something for something. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to flush it all out. I don't know. Gonna wash that shit right out. I don't know. Apparently I'm trying to prove some kind of water point. I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. What's going on with you? Ah! So, one day you'll learn. That's all. You tried, but you didn't break it. It still made contact. One day, grasshopper. Anyways, remixing, drifting along, because I mixed it yesterday, and I don't know. I didn't really like the mix that I ended up with at the end, so I'm going to try again with SIENNA, which corrects these headphones. When I'm mixing through the speakers, I think I was using the arc. And I think when I do that, I should sit in the exact position. Yeah, I should have been about here when, unless I'm going to be like scooting forward and stuff. So when I do that, I need to be like not live. Unless everybody wants to feel like sitting watching me, you know. Sit right here and this just constantly just coming at you like, I guess I could get a wireless keyboard and mouse and sit. That would be badass. So I'd like to probably take this off of here. There we go. Now I'm going to sit in the mixing position. Get this, bring this with me with an extra long cable. Oh, it would. Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. At least get a little table I can bring this in here, over here. Yes. All right, so in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and go to the Monitor 2. And I think before I play, I'm going to listen to the original just to get a feel of what I put out on the actual album. So we want to get rid of that, or can we want to put on SIENNA? This is Acustica. They have, under Acustica, when you install it, they have this N4 for the VST3, and you can load things in there. I don't use that. The Aqua is their free pack. It's Acustica. I don't know if they're going to change or whatever, but these are all free. They came free with whatever. There's like a whole downloader install and stuff, and I love this SIENNA Guru. It helps. I use my Audio-Technica ATH M40FSs. They have a huge frequency range, enormous frequency range, and from like 5 hertz to like 50, maybe 20 kilohertz. Yeah, from 5 to 20. Incredible range, but actually those lower ranges, this lower sound, although it can reproduce them, it really can't push them. This kind of basically brings the other volumes down to the level, you know what I mean? So I'm always kind of cranking the bass to try and get the bass to stand out and represent itself correctly. This basically trims my headphones so that all those other frequencies that are extra represented just flushes them out there, and so they're kind of equal with the 5 dB in that area. So I can do some really good mixing. And I don't know if I have a preset. Not yet. Yeah, I do. 1 sub. Oh yeah, this is the that would be the mastering room. So we don't want that. We want the mixing room. So it has a mixing room, and then it also has a mastering room, and you can choose whether it has a sub or not. I'm pretty sure this is a mastering room, and those look like mastering tools. And this one looks more like a mixing setup. You know, mixing board, speakers, referencing, shit like that. And yeah, it sounds really good. I like it. I mean, it may not sound that good on your end. I don't really know. So that's why I'm going to treat you to a little bit of gear. Oh yeah, the treat's for you. It's not for me. I'm not trying to like shamelessly plug my music. I just really want you to experience, you know, is the Give Me Gearedmah experience. Not the Jimi Hendrix, it's the Give Me Gearedmah experience. And if you're not into that, then why are you here? Okay, no. Let's just listen to what we got mixed. That one's scratchy as shit. What the fuck? Let me try and close that out and try to open it up again or something. Holy crap, that was horrible. I did reset the, not the drivers, but the resolution. See if it works. If it doesn't work better this time, I'll just try to fucking right over it. I don't give a shit. Too scratchy. Nope, we're not doing that. This one played just fine a little while ago. And no, it's not, of course. What's going on in the background? See? That's what I hate about this motherfucker, man. Yeah, the RAM, CPU, everything's like 52 and 29. Let's go ahead and play. Yeah, it's not running. It's got to be the freaking preferences. Okay, I said that at 1024, right? Yeah. I'm trying to go to 2048. Jesus Christ. Probably dropped that. No, the volume of the voice is still there. Okay, when it changed last time. Is it going? Yeah, it's going. Let's see about that now. It's still got one pop. It's the Sienna that's causing it to send the process through that. Yeah. Because that's working, I can mix to that, and let's see if I can play that song back just one time. And, you know, if you don't want to listen to the rest, you can just be like, hell no. Like, okay, got everything. Got it. Got the song. Finally. You slow moving bastard. You'd think I'd get ready by now, but no. Screw that. I want to wing it. No! No! Why are you still gritty? You booger butt. Fuck you. Let's just start mixing. Mike, what up, dude? Wait till I hit with the fucking rooms. That shit sounds awesome with the rooms on. Appreciate you let me know that it's actually playing out, because sometimes I'm just playing for like, you know, a week and a half and it's like it's not even going out at all. It is looking kind of weak there, so I'm going to crank it up a little bit more. And it's not hitting anything, it's not compressing, it's not going to mess with my hearing of it at all. That's too loud on those cymbals. What the hell? I must be clicking too many times. Where's this crash? There you are. Thanks for showing yourself. Here I am. So I try and get the most of that volume setting as possible. That's why I use the mastering compressor instead of regular compressor like most people do. Is it the wrong thing? I don't care. Bring me my medicine, baby, and put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bring me a doctor, mom, I'm dying on this train. Lead my tracks, ain't no take backs, or am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity. Alright, I saw this lesson today. It was talking about limiting yourself down to 3 bands and seeing if you can't. It says after this you'll kind of rewire your brain a bit. This is what the guy says. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to give it a shot because I have a V3 of that version. I have that same EQ. And if I can set the EQs at what they're saying, what he was saying, I'll give it a shot and see if I can see. We've got the low band, mid band, and high. Okay, and we got a high pass and low pass. That should be enough to do what he's talking about. Let's go ahead and mute that. Set the shelf up at, he's at 100. Yeah, there's 100. 1,000. You don't have 1,000, but you got 1.2, and then 10K. And then do what you got to with that. So let's see if I can drop out. I'm going to give myself at least the boost of cutting everything below 80. This is a low pass. I think that's fair. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just give it a listen. Bring me my medicine, baby, and put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see. I do see. A different side of me. Okay, where the S sibilances are. So okay. Cold enough to call my bluff. I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting. I didn't know that 100 had that. Okay. Shit, it is rewriting my. I always picked that as lower than the 100. Yeah. And he's picked those numbers because 100, then times 10 is 1,000, then times 10 is 10K. This is more of the sibilance up here. I understand what I'm shooting for now. This is up there. That's right there. Okay, let's try that again. Got it. Now we go back to the more expensive EQ. Jesus Christ, yeah, of course, yeah, listen how shitty that sounds. Got reset? Full reset. Okay, put that 80 on there like before. We'll do about 18. No, let's do 12. I think above 12 because it was getting very so. Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Okay, that's gonna happen. Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Okay, let's go to 1,000. Boom. Set this back to 0. So we got here 1,000. I can do some more tweaking because I got 10 here, and I can put like a 5 or something there, and it needs a little bit extra clarity. Sweet. So let's just work with 1,000. Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Sounds like my voice needs a bit of clearing out of the 1,000. Not a lot, but it's reshaping how I think about it. Bringing my medicine, baby, and put it in my vein. Bringing my medicine, baby, and put. Bringing my medicine, baby, and put it in my veins. You hear how it drops that bass down in there? If I want to compete with the bass, I can do that, but if it sounds better clearing it out of the way of the bass, I can cut that out from 80. Let's try it with the bass in there and see what happens. Like you said, the most powerful fader, powerful mixing, EQing slider you have is your fader. Because that's all it does is bringing certain frequencies louder. So you're bringing all the frequencies louder with the fader switch. Bringing my medicine. Shut up! The whole thing. We need more stuff in there besides just you putting medicines in your veins, okay? Get your shit together. Dude, what are you, high? Fucking high-ons. I don't work with druggies. Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day, I know I ain't never been the same. 'Cause you're making me see different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting. Now comes a question you gotta ask yourself. Do you compress it going into the EQ to catch peaks, or do you catch it on the backside? That's up to you. If you think it sounds good, they often recommend that you put the compression on the front, and then as it's coming out of the compressor, you EQ that. Like this would be like, I like the settings there, so put the compression on the front, so it's driving it, so it just controls the peaks going in. Again, it's a personal choice. What do you do? Whatever you feel. I mean, I'll show you the difference between real quick. If I put the RVOX on the backside, it's going to be about loud, you know, because RVOX is a really, I had to buy it. I couldn't find anything that was anything quite like it on Waves. I mean, it's from Waves. Couldn't find any other program that's quite, I tried, trust me, I looked around for it. Couldn't find it. So let's go ahead and take a look at RVOX right now. So really, well, the DS, so let's take a look at that real quick. See how the S's kind of pick up around 5,000. Watch. See it? Now do we do it on the front side? That's a good question. Ooh, look how stable that shit is. Nice! It's kind of a compressor. Fuck, we're learning shit together. Fuck yeah! Thanks for tuning in. Tracks ain't no take backs, or am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity when you're bold enough. So it's doing nothing right now. So you got output cap. This is why this is so great, because you can put this right here as a noise gate. So everything above that, see? It closes the gate, whether you blocked it off or not. Like I sometimes chop up my vocals for the clear the silence out. Dang, that's rude. I was talking. But you see how it takes the place of the vocal. We'll get to you later, guy. We're doing vocals right now, not lead guitar, you fucking snotty bitch. Alright, so... What about me? We're gonna get to you, man. This is remixing the whole thing. Alright, see how quiet it is? Now listen. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. I'm not even saying that's the volume that's going to stay, but like I said, making the most out of that volume. If I stay at max about negative 1.6, this has a limiter to cap out the volume coming out at 0. And I can even drop that a little bit more and make it, gate off if I want to. And then there'll be no clips. I try to make sure there's no clips in anything that I don't want any distortion. Any clips at all. The red light, back in the day when you were actually working with hardware, if you went red, it would break up. You're hitting distortion. Now they're just kind of monitoring it, and so they are going like red line and it's too hard, but sometimes people want that sound. But now they've gotten, if you've noticed, the trend is to put a lot of things like drivers, distortion on things. I try to use it, and I try not to use it. I want it in my toolbox, I want to understand it, but I don't want to like overuse it, because I guarantee, just like all the free plugins I own, there's like the Aqua, all these other things, Audio Salt, the free one of that, there's a lot of, if it's free, you don't have to put anything in, so guess who's going to have it? Every fucking body. Now, I want to have it in case you come to my studio and you're like, I use Audio Salt's amp. Okay, cool. I use IK Multimedia Amplitude. Cool, got it. I use Line 6. Cool, got it. I use fucking Positive Grid. Got it, cool. I use, I've got a bunch of them. Waves, GTR. Got it, cool. Pretty much whatever you use, I've got it. PV, the Revolver 4, which doesn't want to work very well, but then there's also the In Music, where's that fucking piece of shit at? No, they changed it to Head Rush, even though it's owned by In Music, Revolver 5. They fucking screwed that program so bad. I was playing with Revolver 4 yesterday, I was like, fuck, I missed this thing. The knobs are all just like sloppy and fucking loose and flipping around and shit. PV just felt like a real thing, The Revolver 4, this just feels like a fucking rushed. Where they just tried to meld Head Rush, the foot pedal. It's in the right path. I think they should mesh the Head Rush and the Revolver, the program. I think they should mix them together, but it's like they just slammed them together and said, here you go, and pushed it out. And I'm like, I wasn't aware until I got the Revolver program and how kind of slapdash, at least the program is. The pedal might be dope. I have no idea. In Music's a weird company, man. In Music's a weird company. So let's keep working. We still got Sienna on, so whatever it sounds like, it actually sounds different because I'm going to use my headphones. It sounds good to me. I don't know what it sounds like to you. It's all right. Selfish that way. You have to stay to the end. That's why you got to pay attention. Bring in my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day, I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see. Whoa, that's like jumped out. Was it 390? Hang on. Bring me no medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day, I know I ain't never been. It cleaned up, whatever it was. Maybe it's just hearing my own hearing. Wishful thinking, maybe. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bring me my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Bring me my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. I want to make sure I'm actually doing something worthwhile, and if I'm affecting it, I want to make sure it's increasing, not decreasing, so I turn off the other bands. Well, I try to, especially if the plugin has an auto, so I can actually listen to what band I'm adjusting and what it's doing. I never really liked that because it's just like one frequency, and I didn't know what to do with that back in the day. But the more I work with it, the more I'm learning the frequencies, and the way I can go, okay, compared to the drums, because the drums are going to be in this frequency, this is not going to touch that shit at all. Because, whatever, that kind of stuff. And you start learning those things a lot better. And when you start having certain same go-tos, especially when you're doing tutorials and stuff, and someone says, oh, boost around 5, someone's like, boost around 3, and so you're like, okay, between 3 and 5, you know, and sometimes I put like a 2.7, and then I want a 4.7 for guitar, you know what I mean? So I would take their tutorials with a grain of salt and do whatever works for you. Watch as many as you can. If you watch, like I said, jazz person, you'll learn how to understand how those frequencies work. And so if you're working with a metal band and they decide to do an acoustic part, it won't seem kind of like, you know, you can make it, treat it with the balance it needs. No problem, man. I know how to do that. If someone brings out an acoustic, a metal fucking performance, whatever, if nothing else, I'll go clean. Like, I've got an acoustic over here. So like, yes, it's a beater, but if we put it like in the ISO booth, it'll actually sound pretty good. Brand new strings, it's gonna sound, that part right there will sound, it sounds dirty and dark, right? Yeah. Look at that guitar and go play it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it'll be slightly out of tune, so it'll give a bit of a chorus sound. Plus, in that room, it'll have that reverb. Oh, yeah, let's try that out. Yeah, let's try that. Just give it a try. We're on my time now, okay? If we do this and you don't like it, no problem. My time. As a producer, for me, try it. I'm not taking on tour. No, of course not taking it on tour. Why would you take, you're not taking my guitar on tour for fucking, first off. Fuck you. I'm saying for the studio, when live, people don't really care. Seriously, live, people don't care. They just want to hear the music. So let's do that. Bring me my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bring me my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bring me my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. Let's go. I'm free. Yeah. Bring me my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. So I think we got most volume on that. I still need to adjust the level some. Bring in my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me. My bluff, I'm waiting here So I think the frequencies are there. I think we're gonna have to just, now it's a matter of levels.
Lead my tracks, ain't no take backs, or am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity. When you're bold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here to face the snuff. So I'll be free. I guess it's destiny. Bringing my medicine, babe. Bringing my medicine. Bringing my medicine.
That's fucking tweak sounding. Hang on, let's see what we can play with that shit a little bit. Hold on, what we got going on there? What's up with you? Seriously, what you doing over there, guy? Huh? I've got Svep. I think that was free. Svep is from Clevgrant, and they have a couple of free plugins. And again, they're gonna be everywhere. But I mean, I've never used this one yet, so let's try and find out what's going on with this bitch.
Bringing my medicine, babe.
I think that might stick out from the other guitars. Let's find out. I wanted to spread them out a bit. I had no idea about that. They would start sparkling and dancing like that. But that's pretty fucking great. Or am I just insane? I guess I might just be high. And the thing is, like, oh, I should put on the lead. And you would be right, except you'd be wrong, because that would take away from the specialness of the other one. Never take away the specialness of the other thing. It took me a while to figure that out. Like Scott McElwee played a really dope line on the bass for the loud. I should have just let it be there, but I wanted everybody to hear that because I said, dun, dun. It was so low. I didn't know if it would come cut through the mix quite the same. So I would pick along with it, but now when I redid it, I just did just the bass doing it, do, and the guitars are. So you can hear the real bass, It's fucking dope. Out.
medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same. 'Cause you're making me see a different side of me. When you're cold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free.
Background vocal, sir. I'm sorry for accusing you of that, sir. You go right back to what you're doing. Let me fix things around this is my fault, not yours. I apologize, sir. Continue to do what you're doing. You took that lead vocal a little too seriously. Play a little bit of reverb, smooths that out a bit. Because I don't want to chop too much more because then it'll drop out the mix, you know what I mean? I could compress on the front side. I'm trying not to squish it and damage the, Okay, I'd say that's pretty good levels and tone. Let's go ahead and turn Sienna off. I'm pretty sure that'll sound decent. I don't want to bog things down again, so this is what I'm going to go to X3. I'm going to go ahead and reset that. Is it going to be changing things a little bit? Sure it will, but what other options do you have on here, guy? What was that about? Oh, you just made that wider, huh? What about you? Oh, you're making it even wider. Alright, so that's fine. In case you want to see it real big. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. That's what I'm saying. Because if you want to see it real big, you just do on them right there. But, you know, that's up to you what you want to do. You got to go down this corner and look for that little triangle. That's what you want to see, that little triangle down there. And that lets you know what you can do. One of them scaling things. I seriously don't know what I'm doing. What's wrong with me? I'm starting ketamine therapy soon. Maybe it'll fix it. Maybe it'll make it worse. You're here for the ride, right? Tune on in. You see how everybody wants to be the star, but they're not. The snare and the kick are the main star, and the next one is the vocal. Regardless of what anyone wants to tell you about how important they are, the vocal is the most loved instrument because it's genuine. Like your fingers and stuff like that with delays and things like that, that's going to be altered. Through a microphone, your voice can be altered to be pitchy, I mean to be in tune. But your actual natural voice, just singing, whatever, if you're just out in public, there's no faking that. And it connects and resonates if you're doing it correctly, because all the emotion and thought that you're putting into that and the words connect with people. If you even listen to like most like rap and stuff, often if you talk about how misogynistic the rap is, like they'll shuck it off and say, I just listen for the beat. The meaning is the rhythm section, the production in the background, the people talking over it, what they're saying, the cadence is, that cadence is really cool, but what they're saying is less important than anything really, because it's basically back there while you're talking. I can show you when I'm done with this, I put on some of my songs I have that go way too long and stuff, but if you're having a conversation over it, it shows exactly what I'm talking about. Back there in the background is an even level music of, you know, kind of groove and whatever, keeping the party going. Yeah, it's awesome. But if you actually focus on what they're actually saying, oftentimes it's pretty fucked up. But again, like with cock rock, even with gangster rap and whatever, when the feel is dope, but maybe change the context, and with enough time getting away from it, gangster rap won't, I mean, like I said, it'll make a re-emergence, but there won't be as much to complain about. Maybe the next thing they complain about will be like kind of, you know, hopefully a much lesser, you know how we're complaining about shit now. If you do rap in the slave days, I think it'd be more angry. And I think it'd be a bit more, you know what I mean? It'd be a bit different. The lyrical content, like you really complain about them watching you. They're walking around behind you and looking at you funny. Must be nice. You know what I mean? And so in the future, hopefully, it continues to be that way and continues to drop down where we're like, really? Must be nice at the water park that they won't let you run. Ah, shit. All right, let's go. I'm tired of being fucking ridiculous. No, I'm not. So I can just set the drums at 0. I can set the vocals at 0 because I know that's what they're going to be. I can put the guitars to decorate, and the bass is the next one because you got to feel how the music's going. Guitars, they're out wide. When you compress them, they're going to get louder. You can hear them, and when I compress them, they're going to be even in volume, especially their importance. It's a bit much. Okay, did not smooth that over. Let's put a compressor on there to clear that. Yeah. I heard you! Oh yeah! Bring your shit home. Tell him to bring your shit. Tell him I said, come on, help you get your shit. Get your shit! You gotta remember, this is gonna be background. This isn't even gonna be. The dry mix is already done. I'm just mixing the background effects.
Medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same, 'cause you're making me see a different side of me.
I kind of like it, but it's got a bit of a on there. I could put a de-esser, I guess. So let's see how it sounds in the mix, because it might actually sound decent cutting through, you know, with all the bass and all the other frequencies in there. So I try and do everything a bit separately so I can see what each one is doing.
Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Bringing my medicine, baby. Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins.
All right. It's a bit loud, but we're going to bring in the rest of the stuff and see how loud. Those haven't been tampered with, so they should be all right. Alright, so we're going to go to the solo. In case you haven't noticed, I put the gain around negative 13, negative 14. That's why I found that summing everything to this track, even if you have like 20 or 30 tracks, and they're not clipping here, why gain stage each one of these a little bit so that it comes down here? Well, by the time they hit here, they're summed together to make extra volume. So I just drop it here. If I were to put this up, let me go ahead and turn some shit down real quick. Turn this volume down even also. Let me actually bring it down a little bit. See? At 0, how loud it is? See how loud it is at 0? I mean, that's negative 2. And it's clipping. It's just clipping and clipping. But when I bring down negative 13, is there any clippage? Anywhere. I'll even do negative 14 so I have a bit more. 13.8, fuck it. Alright, so. Where's the problem? No problem at all. I can bring the volume up with effects. Are you guys clipping? No. So there's the MIDI. Are you guys clipping? No, none of you are clipping. So none of you guys are clipping. So there's no reason to do that except for there's no reason to gain stage all of these when I can just gain stage this. Yeah, fuck you. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I put in a mastering compressor, trying to get the frequencies, trying to make sure the bass is a bit more compressed, the mid has a little bit more sag, the higher end comes through, and then the very high has got more freedom. Here, I use this generally for low pass, high pass. So you see these are all off. Everything below 40 on any instrument, everything above 18. So there's too much harsh or low, get those out of there. And then I'll put a tape emulator on there to try and give it a bit more of an analog feel, and to kind of tape tends to compress things a little bit better. So I'll put that on there. Sometimes I'll put a bus compressor on here. I didn't do it on this one, but I can show you how to glue. It will glue the mix a little bit better. I kind of did regret that last time that I didn't do that. So let me go ahead and try and put a which mastering compressor should I use? I've been using the hell out of the Better Maker. It's good. Fuck it, why not? Plus it gets immediate results. I don't have to worry about thinking too much. And the lessons transfer over whether or not. So this is a Better Maker bus compressor from Plug-in Alliance. It's fucking amazing. I don't like to do a go-to. If I'm doing more vintage stuff, I tend to use like more vintage EQs so it'll actually sound like it. There's a Townhouse bus compressor. I'll go ahead and pull that up real quick so you can see. It does about the same thing. It doesn't have quite as many effects. It's not quite as flexible. And it sounds like it's got a bit more of a vintage sound to it. Townhouse compressor right there. Boom. See? It looks older. Very much. It's got a whole lot fewer controls, but it does have the auto. It does have the attack, ratio, threshold. This is the rate for auto fade. If you want to have the auto fade so it fades out, you can put that in there. And you can even cue, with MIDI controls, you can set the control for that to be whatever, and then you can hit a button even on your keyboard, and it'll trigger that auto fade. And so if it's like at the end of 5 minutes alone, you can adjust the rate. 12 seconds of decay, 5, 4, however fast you want to get out. If it's doing like 60 beats per minute, you can actually measure that out, whatever, if you want to. I've never used it. It's got a sidechain filter in here, so if you want to make sure that like anything below, especially, I'll show you that here in a second. Let's go ahead and do that. That's why I'll show you that also. Delete. So with the Better Maker mastering compressor, I tend to put it like right after the EQ. I have a mastering compressor, multi-band compressor, sorry. Then I have the EQ, usually for catching any like I said, the lows and the. It's just if you have a high pass shelf, fine. I like the options there. I can drop to 30. I have another one that can drop to like 50. That's the lowest it'll go. I like that one. It has more frequency. It has more ability to drop, and I like to mix some subs into my stuff. I do. I like it to be in there. I don't like to be too crazy, so I cut about 47. Then the Better Maker. Let's go ahead and bring this full size if we can. This one have no? Where's the damn thing? I don't think it has a size adjuster. See? No. Oh, yeah, you do. No, you don't. You liar. See, you gotta look for the triangle. If it doesn't do a triangle, you get that kind of shit there, and that's kind of bullshit. But, so, at a full reset, what I tend to do is I bring the mix. I don't want it full on. I want some of the original mix to come through. Release, I set to auto. Like the person said, the computer's going to do a lot better job than me. The gain, I haven't touched at all yet. The attack, I want a fast attack. And then for, you do whatever feels good for you, but for me, I tended to go for a fast attack. 4-to-1 ratio, and then I let it play, and I watch until it dances to about -3, -4. The reason -3, -4, you can probably hear it when it goes, you can kind of hear it engage. It feels like a little bit of a drop. So what we do, we don't want a lot of drop. Now check this out. This is a side chain. This is what I was talking about, not letting the lows come through. So we're going to listen to that just with this. This is like letting us listen to what's being filtered out. You hear the kick drum's not coming in at all. So now we're not compressing the kick drum anymore. Now you make up for that with the gain. You dropped at about 3 or 4, so let's bring it in first about 3 and see how that sounds. It should marry them together pretty well. As far as the tape, I can't tell you what tape to choose. There's the 3 different types of tapes they have, and often they have different ones like that. I mean, more than that. Like I said on that one, I did want to mess with, let me take that off of there completely. I'm going to go ahead and put in, I want to put in T-Racks, just like the suite, so that way I can fuck around with the different tapes they have. They got lots of tapes inside there, so let's go ahead and just bring the entire module in there. Why not? I've got it. I've got enough RAM. Fuck them. Let's do it. Sweet. T-Rex 5. Alright, so if I wanted to, I could even do like a master match. You bring in a match that you like, and then it'll match your, an EQ curve to make your, and loudness and everything to make your shit work the same as that. I don't tend to like that. I like to play. I haven't given up yet. I'm still trying to do as good as the computer. As long as I'm still trying, I haven't lost. I'm about to show you what it sounded like in the 90s. So we didn't know what the fuck we're doing. So I'm guaranteed this was all like, I've got tons of mixes that sound like this shit. This one's honestly too clean. Unless you just know what the fuck you're doing. I wish I could bring out some of my 4 tracks. I tried to say on one time, I don't know if I got it out correctly, but like the tape speed back in the day, it was like low and high. Like if you did low, you would be low speed and you get more recording, but the quality wouldn't be as good. Actually, no. Yeah, it's a high speed. As the high speed is racing because you're using up more tape, and the low speed would go at a slower rate, and so it would pass by, and it just wouldn't make as much. It wouldn't make as good quality. So in those days, yeah, you'd want to go for the low. Now that keep that in mind if you ever want to go for like a lower quality. So maybe I mean if I wanted to go to the true 90 sound, I should slow this tape down, whatever. But that's all here. You can do all that shit. You can adjust the hi-fi, you can adjust the bias and shit like that. Level and which tape do you want? I don't know. Each tape tends to add a little bit of frequency to the, a little feel, and whatever feels good to you, then do that. And if none of them do, then try and find if you have this kind of, effect thing, go for whatever you can. Maybe this one's the right one. Maybe this one's the right one. Tape 80 to 640. This is more like a home recording thing, where this would be more like the, when you're at a big studio type thing. At least it looks like it. I don't know. There's a bunch of different machines here. And they all look dope. They're from TIAC. They're actually licensed from TIAC and Tascam. So they must represent the sound pretty accurately. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put their name on there. Unless they just paid, They're like, yeah, fine, go ahead and do it. But most places that they're going to put their name on it, they feel like it reproduced it well enough that it's not going to threaten their actual sales, but give you an idea of what it sounds like if you couldn't afford it anyway. So go ahead and get that, Some of these are out of commission, and getting tape for them is impossible. So yeah, go ahead and duplicate the machine, because you're not going to get a fucking, you're just not going to get one of these in real life. You might get a Porta 7, Porta 1, one of these Tascam, the smaller ones. But one of these TIACs and shit, you're probably not going to get one unless you go rummaging through like eBay and actually go, questing for it. And then you got to get tape for it and all this shit. And this does a pretty good job of emulating it. Without need of tape. I have infinite amount of tape anytime I want to record on the tape. Even though it's not real. Doesn't sound quite right. Just because it's causing us problems, I think if I were not streaming, it probably wouldn't. I'm going to go ahead with the Waves. They have the less expensive audio CPU shit. They have one called the J37, and it's a great one. It's the one that's in Abbey Road. And there's an Abbey Road, if you want to make it sound like it was being pressed to vinyl, they actually have the Abbey Road vinyl. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. I figured I'd get this in case I want to make someone's like, oh, I'm going to press the vinyl. Okay. You still could choose my studio. Well, yeah, I just want to do like a DJ turntable? Sure. Well, I want to change the car. You hear that crackle? Print to a machine. Whatever. The cartridge, you can change the cartridge on there. Turn the noise out. You don't want the noise on there? Fine. Want louder? This is virtual, baby. We can do whatever the fuck we don't ask. That's why I say, what are we doing? I don't say, what do you want? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Huh? What are we doing? Huh? What are we doing today? What are we doing? Just tell me what we're doing, because if we want noise in there, we can just take that out. It's up to you. Want those cracks in there and pops? No. Okay, that's cool. No, just what are we doing? It's your fault. I had to show you that. You asked about the thing, the record. You said, can you make records? I said, yeah, I can make records. I can make hit records from Abbey Roads, remember? This is your... Oh, blame me. Ah, man, whatever, dude. You just said, what else do you have? I said, oh, yeah, I can do records. As I've said in the past, often though it'll have a change in the bass feel or in the kick drum feel. For me, that's how I choose which tape I want to choose. I'll keep flipping through, especially with the different biases, until something jumps out, a change pops out that I like, and that's how I was like, okay, that's the tape I want to use. As far as the low and high speed, you know that, but that's 7.5 inches per second. That's low speed, and then 15 inches per second, or IPS. And that'll tell you whether or not it's good. If you come across a tape machine that if you don't have either one of these, and it's like 7.5 or 15 IPS, inches per second, slow or fast. 15 slow, 7.5 inches per second, 15 inches per second. That's what those IPS are. In case you didn't know, I'm sorry if you did know. But hey man, you're leaving me alone. I'm stoned. Completely forgot to bring the rest of the track in. Jesus, I'm fucking in solo here. Duh. We need the rest of the tracks in there. That's just the fucking... I was wondering, like, man, that's a lot of fucking... Alright, let's try that again.
Laid my tracks, ain't no take back. So am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity. When you're bold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here to face the snuff. So I'll be free. I guess it's destiny. Inside of me,
I always go talking with the thing on there. But my question was, what were you thinking low numbers, though? So anyways, I think that mix is pretty good about it. And I don't know if it's not doing quite what I wanted to do. But again, like I said, with the Sienna on there, I could probably tell better. But with the RAM it's eating up, I think it'd be best just to leave the Sienna off and then try and mix out and see what's happening. Let me go listen to the drums real quick, because if not, I've got this. I just realized I've got that on there. So if they're kind of quiet, I can do something about that. I'm going to try and send that bass down to mono a little bit better. So let's go ahead and plug in the lion. Which one are you? Wait. There you are. Subfilter, not subsynth. No, fuck. Subsynth, not subfilter. Damn it. One day I will learn, but it is not this day. Yeah, one day, not this day. There we go. I'll live and learn where it sits.
No take back, so am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity. When you're bold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here to face the stuff. So I'll believe. I guess it's destiny. Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. Cause you're making me see. Cause you're making me see. Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. 'Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. 'Cause you're making me see. 'Cause you're making me see. 'Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. 'Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. 'Cause you're making me see what's inside of me. Cause you're making me since that day I know I ain't never been the same. 'Cause you make me see a different side of me. When you're cool enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bring me a doctor, mom, I'm dying on this train. Leave my tracks and no take backs, or am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity.
I've been just a talking away, and you haven't been here. Shame on you. Yes, I'm gaslighting you. I'm gaslighting you into a brighter future. I'm doing this for your own good, God damn it! What kind of a torturer would I be if I weren't gaslighting you on purpose? Of course I'm gaslighting you. What else would I do as a torturer? I'll be the devil on your shoulder if it gets you off the fucking chair. When, boy? When are you gonna get your act together? I swear sometimes I think that boy's the Antichrist. Don't walk away when I'm talking to you. All right, cool. It opened up. It didn't lock up. Sweet. It didn't, and we're still broadcasting. Yeah, we still got sound coming. Oh yeah. Oh. Would that thou hast spoketh too soon, for yonder lieth your reward of nothing. And set the upwards, and then set the upwards, so we can actually hear what's going on. At least I'm paying attention this time instead of just going like half the fucking video. Unless it's not been broadcasting this whole thing, which I don't know. Because sometimes I see the meter going and watch it back, and I'm like, where's the sound? I watched the meter dancing around. I guess you want to put the kibosh. She's just like, shut up, you motherfucker. You talk too much. Probably gonna have to reset after this too. Hold on to your butts. Nope. Cancel. Apply. Okay. Mr. Buck. Oh, shit. What? No fucking way. I don't know if that's actually any better. I don't know. I'll have to check it out later. But right now I'm going to do the ozone. And I know that the solo kicks in right on here. And then for you freebie freaks out there, we'll go ahead and do an @1, 8-tone, whatever you want to call it. This is a free plugin you can get from Analog Obsession. And I like this. I like this channel strip for a lot of things. I mean, you can use it on any track, really, basically. But I'm using it for this right quick. Alright, so let's start exporting tracks. This will be the free track. Okay, everything on there is on or off, so file, save, earned, and then he stepped on the ball. Anybody know what the fuck I'm talking about? Trading motherfucking places. And then he stepped on the ball. This would be a fine time for me to talk to you about today's sponsor, deodorant. Don't want to stink? We got you covered. Deodorant. And showers. For men like me who need to shower, look in your nearest bathroom and just see if you can find. If you have one, sweet. You might have a tub. Works the same. Shower tub, except I don't like to sit in my stink. You know, I like to wash down the drain. I don't like to just sit. When women shower and bathe in the tub and it turns all that murky gray, you know, from the soap, I'll pass. It's fun from time to time. You know what? I'm supposed to be talking, and I should just go to this instead of that. So let's go ahead and just master. Yeah, let's just fucking master this shit out here, huh? You know, as a master, I don't know. No, that's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for drifting along. Sienna. Well, since my baby loved me, I found a place to dwell. Down the skin along the street, it's jerking off hell. They call it stroking it hell. So what? I mean, what do kids? I know they're not allowed to bully, but I mean, can you give each other shit still, or no? Is that off the table? It seems like a lot of them can't even give each other shit without them crying. So what kind of school is that? You gotta be able to give other people shit. You can't give people shit. I'm not saying like harassing. But if you don't have a friend that you can give some shit to, then you don't have a friend. I'm sorry. You don't have a friend if you can't give them some shit. Sorry, man. No shit, no count. No shit, no friend. A friend would help you shit if that's a friend. A friend wouldn't stop you from shitting. That's what I'm trying to say. A friend would let you shit. Well, that's veering off traffic. Yeah, traffic. Yeah, it's veering off traffic, huh? Let's go ahead and do some other shit. And that reminds me, I haven't gotten stoned in about an hour. Oh, man, I don't know how long I've been mixing. How long have I been doing this? Oh, you gotta go away so I can see my thing, because it's got to. There we go. Alright. There's something else. 2 fucking hours? God damn it. Many people gonna tell me to shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Oh no, I'm probably watching this, so it's all good. If you are somebody. Don't think I'm saying you're not somebody, but I'm just saying you don't. What? That is the ozone. That's the best you could do with the crap I put into it. So let's see what it can put out. You perverts. Oh, God, I gotta watch what I say around you people. I gotta twist my words into some kind of dong song pretzel. You heard me. Dong song. Let me see that dong dong dong. I ain't got no goddamn sense. The dong shot, it's got fucking extra 15 minutes dedicated to the dong shot. 15 minutes, fuck you and your 15 seconds. No, it's just like, here it is. What are you doing, Thundergun? What do you think I'm doing? What's sitting on your shoulder? It's rather warm. Yeah, it is. No, remain seated, because that way it can stay on your shoulder. If you stand up, now see like it fell off your shoulder as soon as you moved. Well, it's intimidating no one here. Well, this right there, you might, see where I'm coming from. Or he's here. Oh, shit. Oh, man. I wish that was mine, but it's not. busting up in your eyes. You can see where I'm coming from. Come on, man. That's not mine. I wish I could. I wish I could. I wish it was mine. E. Brown, where you at, son? Oh, man, did you guys hear that? That was my neck. Imagine when I take some ketamine, the muscles actually relax. And it's not like trying to drive wood, nails into wood. Are you sick of the song? I've been announcing. You didn't hear most of that shit at all, probably. So, just in case, the first one was the A-tone or At-one, whatever the fuck it is, from Analog Obsession with the. And this one's the. I was done with Sienna. So let's go ahead and reset that and start over. Guess you weren't listening to my bullshit. I was sitting there fucking talking for a while there, waxing philosophical about things. And yeah, I think it's just not meant to be heard by people because I just keep sitting there forgetting to unmute the thing on the damn thing. So I can mute it here, and I can also mute it on my mixing board. So if I can hear it on my, it was when it wasn't bleeding over, I could just mute on my mixing board. So if I was talking and I couldn't hear myself, that meant I was, I wasn't going through. That's why I wear these, so I can tell when I'm going through and when I'm not. Now it's set up is that it's like there's some bleed over, something's bleeding over, and I really don't want to stop the middle of thing to do it, so I mute it over here so it doesn't interfere with the other one. Especially during like just playing around, I probably wouldn't have cared, but during like a mix down, I don't want to be like, I can't tell what it is. I can just see that there's something going, and so I mute it on the OBS. Sorry about that blank silence there for a blank spot while I was sitting there just yapping and yapping. Unless it was a good palate cleanser to give I guess silence spared you from having to listen to my stupidity while I was ready. It's really when you think about it. Let's play some music. Palate cleanser. These are yesterday's mixes. This is today. That just feels good. I don't know about you guys. I can hear it good in my headphones. I'd say the snare's a bit loud.
Bringing my medicine, baby, put it in my veins. Since that day I know I ain't never been the same. 'Cause you make me see a different side of me. When you're cool enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here with all this guff, and I'm free. Yeah. Bring me a doctor, mom, I'm dying on this train. Leave my tracks, ain't no take backs, or am I just insane? 'Cause I can see from here to infinity. When you're bold enough to call my bluff, I'm waiting here, face the snuff, so I'll be free. I guess it's destiny.
feels like it got cloudy at the end. You know what I mean? It just got blurry. I should clean that up a bit better. I like the way it fades out. The way I put that ending on there to fade out like that. I think that was a good thing to do to naturally fade out, and then rather than let the music fade out, also put a taper on there because it does that fade off into infinity a lot better. I think when the volume actually, like if you listen to like the end of 5 minutes long from Pantera, I think that goes way too long. But it does, though. I was talking about that fading off into infinity. It's not like the song ever ends. If you listen to it, it's just like someone turned the volume down on the song. If they would have done that sooner, I think it'd have a better. Again, back then, I mean, they probably left a lot of time for people to mosh. You know what I mean? Seriously. Because, I mean, that song would get shit fucking churning. I guarantee you in a pit, that would have been great. But for like a radio cut, they should have cut it a little bit shorter. And then just like, yeah, go ahead and enjoy yourselves, guys. You know what I mean? We're going to keep this going for a while at the end there. You know? I guarantee the crowd will be like, fucking yes, the guys who did this so long. We get to slam into each other longer. It's a great thing, man. It really is. Often, like when I was at the in pits and shit, it was just more. It wasn't really like aggressive, super aggressive music. It just there was just too much energy in the room. Especially you go see someone like Seed, and there's just so much energy in the fucking room that everybody's just moving, kind of gently, kind of swaying to the music. You know, before too long, you're bumping into someone. You could say you're sorry to every fucking person, but they're bumping into you, and you don't. You know what I mean? So just like fucking just go with it. And then for too long, like especially when it starts getting aggressive. Just so you know, you're just kind of jumping, and people are just trying to move around in your own space, but that just happens to hit into other people. And it happens to not feel terrible. You know what I mean? So they bump you on purpose, and you bump them on purpose, and then that pushes you into someone else, and that pushes you back, and yeah. It's pretty dope, man. It's a pretty great thing. Like I said, there's just too much fucking energy in the room. It's dope. But then once, like I said, they start becoming known for a band that you could go do that to, bring in some fucking Nazi kind of guys, you know, some skinheads start showing up, and so like I'm sitting there at the edge of the pit getting ready to jump in because I know the songs very well. I've been with them for a while, you know, and they're like on either side, kind of, you know what I mean, and kind of like looking at each other and cracking their knuckles. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out, man. You know, I know what those shoelaces mean. Sorry, not gonna be able to cover up a hate crime with the pit. Sorry. Sorry, I'm gonna go have a drink. That's what I'm gonna do. I suggest you guys have a calm the fuck down cocktail. I don't know, something. Let's take a listen to the originals. By now, if you're still here, you're in it for the long haul. You know what I mean? So let's just do this. Listen to the original mixes and see what they sound like, so that way we can see what like the start. I mean, it shows that what Joe Gilder over at Studio One and Producers Corner. Wait, what the fuck is it called? It's not Better Than Producers Blog. That's Better Than Producers Blog. There you go. God damn it, Joe Gilder on YouTube. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do learn something from everything he says. So I would recommend checking out his lessons and stuff. And one of his things is get it right at the source. So shit in means shit coming out. So if you have like a shitty sound going in, you're not going to fix that with EQ. So go ahead and try and get the sound as best as you can when you record it as it's going down. And that way you actually have a good sound going in. It's one of the reasons I was recording in 96, because I can always strip away the things, the frequencies, the harmonics and stuff. And I think that kind of why that one feels good, like drifting along, because it was recorded in 96. And it just has extra resolution that a 48 does not have. And that's what I mean by that. It felt good. I think there's information, there are holes in the information. And I think unless you get to like 32-bit 192, I believe. Yeah, 192. You're not actually recording in HD audio, even if you're recording 192 or 24. I think true HD audio starts at 32, 192. And we'll get there eventually when the process, if things keep going. That's what I was talking about, following the arc of stuff. It's going to get there quick, especially if they can't get it because of the architecture. Either AI will get away for the audio. We're looking at it wrong. And AI will figure out a way to make the audio stream easier. We're probably looking at it very wrong, if I had to guess. And there'll probably be a whole new pipeline of tools and stuff to play with and things like that. If you have a chance to avoid any purchases here recently in the coming few, I would avoid it. I would hold on to your cash for a bit if you could, because I think everything's going to crash very, very hard and very soon. So if you have money, hold on to it. Don't make any big purchases within the next like 5 to 6 months. You'll know when, because things will start to stabilize again. But I don't know. Probably around Christmas they'll start to stabilize again. If I'm being honest, probably closing on the Christmas season. But through like the summer, it's probably gonna be fucked up. Just in case I'm wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But in case I'm right, just hold off on major purchases. Pay all your regular shit. If you're hearing me, I mean, if you want to even listen to what I have to say. If not, do what the fuck you do. But that would be my suggestion. If in 6 months you're like, I told you, great, you told me. If in 6 months you're like, fuck, dude, if I had made that fucking shit, oh fuck, it dropped hard. It took about 2 months. It wasn't to me. I was like, when's it gonna? I don't know. But I have a bad feeling it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop about 4 or 5 months. I was right about them opening the doors and seeing that gold in there and the price of gold going up. I was right about that. That was just reading the table and seeing what they're doing, what all the players are doing and what they have planned. What could it possibly, what the outcomes could be. They could open those doors and there'd be nothing in there, and then the bottom would fall the fuck out. Or they open the doors and there's gold in there and gold soars to the roof. Those are the two options. Seriously. Those are the two options. Of the two, I bet on they're going to open and there's going to be gold in those doors. I was right. Gold had never been higher in trading history. I looked. Never been higher. But I digress. Let's check out Drifting Along. This is the original messed up shitty one. Definitely a lot better mix to start with. I think if I'd been sitting in the proper, they're not too far off. If I'd been sitting in the position that I took the arc measurements in, I probably would have came up with a fairly, that would be a good idea. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow afternoon. During the daytime, I'll drift with, I'll mix with the arc. I don't know if I'll broadcast live, but I'll compare the two live. Unless anybody wants to watch me sitting in the fucking chairs going, let's change this EQ. It may be as easy as changing the levels now that I know that the Sienna, I believe the mix I did today was better and cleaner. So maybe using the arc will just be a matter of setting levels and shit. I don't know. I might make some music. I don't know, that guitar sounds bad. Oh, I don't like the way that sounds. Let's adjust that. I don't know. I think I'm done. 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's how long that I've been up in it. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna just end it. Go ahead and wrap it up. I should close it out.